Hello, I'm Natalie Brunell for Bitcoin Magazine, and we are wondering if Joe Rogan is a Bitcoiner. The world's most successful podcaster and comedian may have accepted a payment for $100,000 in Bitcoin. Now, if you're familiar with this show, you know that the podcast host and MMA commentator has talked about Bitcoin before and even hosted conversations with notable Bitcoiners like Jack Dorsey. But accepting Bitcoin as payment would mark a definitive switch in stance on his part. Okay, so during the Joe Rogan Experience, episode 1728, about 56 minutes and 30 seconds in, frequent guest and comedian Ari Shaffir boasted to fellow comics Mark Norman and Shane Gillis, on behalf of their friend, Joe got a deal for over $100,000. But Joe deflected and sort of brushed the comics off, saying it's not American money, it's all in Bitcoin. Now, if in fact this is true and he was paid more than 1.5 Bitcoin, at least in today's prices, then it would mark a definite shift in his position on the world's most sound store of value. In the past, Joe Rogan had dismissed Bitcoin as either a pyramid or a Ponzi scheme, which is honestly an opinion a lot of people form when they hear about the success of Bitcoin's early adopters or when they haven't gone down the rabbit hole. But one of the most captivating, honest, and humanizing things about the internet legend is Joe Rogan has actually revised his opinions on topics when presented with good information on his episodes. And back in February 2019, in an episode with Twitter and Square CEO Jack Dorsey, who is an extremely active promoter of Bitcoin, Joe commented, "One of the things that's kind of cool about the Cash App is the fact that you can buy and sell Bitcoin with it." Now, Rogan went on to ask whether Dorsey would allow other cryptocurrencies to be bought and sold on the platform. But Dorsey went into an explanation about how Bitcoin was going to become the native currency of the internet. He talked about the trials that have strengthened it and what would likely propel Bitcoin to becoming a global reserve asset. Now, that episode was really the first time we heard Joe Rogan talking about Bitcoin as a disruptive technology. He said, quote, "This is another step towards a new way of doing things." Now, this is super exciting for Bitcoiners because many of them are big fans of Joe Rogan, and his show reaches about 11 million people per episode. So if Joe Rogan were to come out publicly that he's accepting Bitcoin as payment or he's a Bitcoiner, that could potentially lead to a lot more people adopting it from his audience. And for obvious reasons, the idea of orange pilling someone as influential as Joe Rogan is super exciting and meaningful to Bitcoiners. In fact, after the news came out that he might have accepted that payment, a lot of people on Twitter were requesting that Joe Rogan's next guest be legend Michael Saylor. Joe, wherever you are down the rabbit hole, Bitcoin Magazine is here to help.
Yep.